Now it's time to learn about your I style. I stands for influence. And this is about how you interact with people and contacts. Now, the I style tends to act very persuasively with people and contacts. The I style comes along with the emotion of optimism and trust. And the fear that the I style has to overcome is the fear of being left out, the fear of being left behind, and the fear of losing social approval. Now, if your score is above 50, if your score is above the energy line and you're a high I, these are some words that might describe you. Enthusiastic, charming, influential, confident, generous. If your I style is below the line and the score is 50 or below, these are some words that will describe your I style. Controlled, rational, factual, pessimistic, and suspicious. So let's have a look at your I style descriptive words. I want you to turn to page 12 of your disc report. And on page 12, you'll see your word sketch, natural style. And when you look at the page, you'll see a yellow box. And that yellow box will have descriptive words of how you approach people and contacts. And I want you to choose one of those key words. Now you can see on the screen here, my I style. When it comes to approaching people and contacts, I could be described as charming, influential, sociable, and trusting. And I'll tell you what, I used that charm when I met Ninny. I let that honey drip from my lips and I charmed her off the aircraft, onto our first date, into engagement, into marriage, and I charmed her to give me two of the most beautiful children ever. I had to use that charm to win Miss Taiwan. So what about you? How would you describe the way that you attempt to influence people and contacts? For me, I would use the word charming. What about you? I want you to go to the chat box and tell me what word describes you. And if you haven't done it yet, get your camera on, ready to go, because I'm looking for the next person to go in the hot seat. So if you don't have your camera on yet, put it on. Let me know that you're ready to go. What words do we have here? Quiet, influential, contemplative, trusting, accurate, pensive, reflective. Okay, Alexis Lim, good afternoon. Alexis, I know you've been busy in the chat box. Alexis, when you're ready, Alexis, make sure you've got your camera and your microphone on. And let's do this together. Alexis, good afternoon. How are you doing? Welcome.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you doing? What are you eating? Are you eating an apple?
No, I'm actually eating don't know what you call it, a red color guava.
I like to choose the people in my classroom who are reading. They're my favourite ones. Okay, well, lovely to meet you personally. And I'd like to start by asking, what have you learned about yourself so far? What have you learned about yourself at 100x DNA?
I think I'm beginning to see a different picture of myself. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't really had the time to go and read the DISC profile yet. Because today actually I'm also not feeling well. Then that's why you see my voice also is a bit not on the right voice that I'm having today.
You're borrowing somebody else's voice today.
Yeah, I'm borrowing somebody else's voice today. But I think this masterclass is very interesting. I learned a lot about myself. And I think that it's important for you. It's important for you to think think things the right way.
Yes,
Sorry for
absolutely.
that.
100%. Well, let's get some clarity on your goals, and then we're going to take a look at your disc style. Alexis, where do you want to be a year from today? How much money do you want to be making? What is that income goal that you're working towards 12 months from today?
12 months from today, I think, I'm not a very ambitious person, so I probably
Mm-hmm.
just want to double what I currently earn. So currently my annual income is slightly over 100K a year.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can, double that, I think I'll be very happy.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So you want to double the income from
Mm,
100,000 to 200,000. Okay,
yeah.
beautiful, beautiful. Now, as we say, our goals we set logically. We're very logical with them, very left brain. We pick numbers.
Mm,
The second thing we've got to do to bring it to life, we've got to emotionalize it. And we do that by activating the right brain. So let me know, Alexis, what are 3 things that excite you about doubling your income? What are 3 things that excite you about doubling your income?
any words lah, is it? Any words that come up from my mind or what?
Maybe words that come from your heart. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Emotionalize it.
Happiness, then secure, uh, less, no anxiety. I would say
Ah, I like that.
anxiety to me is very important because I think during the MCO time, some of us who might have a cut in the income, some of us who might have, work loss. So it kind of like affected us. So I think for me, the security and stability is important because I have kids to feed, 2 kids.
And kids eat more. The older they get,
Yeah,
the bigger
yeah,
they get, the more they eat. So
correct,
let's make sure
correct.
you've got plenty of money to feed them. So
Yes,
the
yes.
goal is to double the income from 100,000 ringgits to 200,000 ringgits. Is that correct?
Mm. Yes, yes, that's
And for
correct.
you, what comes to your heart is
Mm.
happiness.
Yes,
It's also the security, which is really important because you have 2 children to feed.
yeah,
And also, it's no anxiety because of
correct.
MCO and the stability that you lost during that time. Is that correct?
Mm. Yes, that's right.
Excellent. Wonderful. So we know that you're starting from 100,000. The goal's to get to 200,000. And what we want to have a look at now is we want to look at how you approach people and contacts. So on the screen here, how you approach people and contacts is going to be in one of 4 ways. You're going to approach people and contacts in a contemplative manner. You'll do it in a very factual manner, a logical manner, or you might even do it in a retiring manner. So out of these 3 descriptive words, or these 4, which best describe how you approach people and contacts?
Mm. Which story? Which what?
Out of those 4 words there, which of these
Uh,
words best describe you
uh-huh.
when you approach people and contacts?
Logical.
Logical. Okay, excellent. So we're going to highlight logical just there. Beautiful.
Mm.
So that's the first step. The second step is when it comes to being logical and attempting to influence people and contacts through logic, what does that mean to you?
Uh, Both that can talk in the same frequency and achieve something greater when we work together.
Could you just repeat that one for me?
Both talk in the same frequency,
Ah,
and
both
then
talking on the same
correct.
frequency.
Then yeah, correct. Then we achieve something greater together. Because my work location mostly is all shared services centric. So hence that's why we are always being trained to work together.
Hmm.
So I'm very good
And what
friend
is
with.
it that you do for work?
I actually do people's payroll. So if anyone
Okay.
interested to know about Malaysian tax, you can always refer to me. I can
Okay.
always
So
help about that.
you're doing payroll. Excellent.
Yes,
And that makes
yes.
sense because to approach payroll logically, that makes a lot of sense because when it comes to money, do people tell stories? Do they tell lies? Do they tell you that they've worked more hours than they really did?
They can't actually.
You don't
You
trust
need
them
to
with the
have
money, do you?
support. Correct. You need to have supporting documents.
Okay. So here it's got to be logical. Both have to be talking the same frequency. Excellent. Now, the next thing we want to have a look at is being logical with people, talking to them at the same frequency. Why is that important to you?
To have the same result across the board, meaning to say, when both people have the same frequency and when people are logical, to me, right, we can achieve that same result that both may want but did not communicate on the earlier sense.
And why is that important to you?
I guess everyone have each person have their own definition of things. Something simple like emotional intelligence. Just now as you were mentioning, like I may have a different meaning, but someone else may have a different meaning. So by having communicating with the same people with the same frequency, we can get that message across. Then we can achieve that one thing great result that you and I may want. That's
Excellent.
What I
Beautiful. Beautiful. So let's get clarity here. The goal is to double the income. Now, how do you plan to double your income? What are you going to do to be worth twice as much as you are today? What's the plan there? Are you running your own business? Are you providing services? Do you have to increase your sales? What do you have to do here?
No, I do not need to increase my sales. So what happened was, this is my story last year. So past 10 months earlier, I was given the opportunity to become the acting manager for my team. So while I was in that role, constantly I was actually getting kind of like abuse criticism from my that time manager who was already the director, citing that I'm not progressing as a manager, that I keep thinking as an individual contributor. And at the end of the closing year, we all will get rated for our performance. And he rated me exceed expectation, which is a good thing, right? But then, why I was not so, satisfied was because the comment I got back, I gave you exceed not because you're doing your job well, but because you are supporting a very huge portfolio. So it gave me a blow. Like as if whatever that I have been working through.
Excellent. Good. I've got it. I understand. Beautiful. Now, let me just ask you, how do you plan to double your income?
Probably find another job.
Okay. I can see Ramesh is laughing as well. Okay, so one option is to find a new job. What else?
Yeah. And I think probably, it's something like what Nina said, that probably I want to try to venture into the business myself. It can mean, because Shared Services Center is a business after all.
Okay.
If I can do something like a freelance, for the company, earning a possible income, that can give me 200K annually a year, I think that would be great. Meaning
Excellent.
that I work for myself. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. So let's just review this. The goal is to go from 100,000 to 200,000.
Yeah.
Currently, you're earning 100,000. The current role that you've got is not going to pay you 200,000.
No.
So you've either got to find a new job or start freelancing. Now, when it comes to approaching people and contacts, because if you're going to pitch yourself and put yourself forward to a future employer, you've got to be able to influence and persuade that person.
Correct.
If you start to freelance, then you've got to sell yourself.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to think about this. Everybody, please think about this. When people decide to buy things, whether it's a product or a service, the decision is made in the right brain, which is the emotional brain. I just want you to think about that just for a moment. The decision to buy is not made in the left brain, it's made in the right brain. So when it comes to approaching people and contacts, as you look for new jobs and you attempt to influence people in a logical manner, how will this approach either help or hurt you? This logical approach, how will it help or how will it hurt you?
And then,
How will it help or hurt you? This logical approach. Because you're going to have to do a lot of influencing and persuading to double your income. Would that be fair to say?
yes,
So if you influence people with logic, is that going to help or is that going to hurt you?
I don't think it's going to help me much. Because that's why we say salespeople are always pickpocket people, because they will manage to be able to persuade you to buy stuff that you may not even need or may need. So you have to be, because I used to study marketing, but I think all that marketing knowledge is gone by now. More than 10 years maybe, the book is gone already. So yeah.
So let's go have a look here.
Mm.
Being logical in your role is a benefit. I believe it's a benefit because somebody who does payroll has to trust in the numbers. You trust in the numbers. As an accountant, you trust in numbers. Accountants don't trust in people because people lie and the numbers don't. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Numbers are black and white, ones and zeros. So I believe that the logical approach to doing bookkeeping really helps you. I really believe that helps you. However, when it comes to asking somebody to pay you 2 times more than you're worth now, maybe you've got to become a little bit more emotional. Because remember, when it comes to selling, and even when you're applying for a job, ladies and gentlemen, never forget that you are selling yourself. If you're going for a job, you're going to sell them on the idea to pay you $200,000, $100,000 more than you're earning now.
Yeah.
And you've got to give them both logical reasons and emotional reasons. So how is this going to either help or hurt you? Or what will you need to do differently?
I need to understand myself better so that I can use my strength to sell myself to them.
Yes. Excellent. Give me one more right answer. That's an excellent answer. So you'll understand your strengths to sell yourself better. What else?
Also understand the needs of the customer. I mean, at the end of the day, customer is always right. Then do try to, accommodate the customer's needs. But at the same time, I believe that we should also be the pillar of guidance for them to make sure that they are in the right track and compliant.
100%. 100%. I'd like to help you out with something, Alexis. Can I help you with something? I want to make a little recommendation. Would that be okay?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So before you said that your approach to influence and persuade people is going to be logical. And you said that if you do that, both people are talking on the same frequency.
Yes.
Now, I think that's going to really work for you if everybody's logical. If you're working with logical people, then you can have logical conversations. But what if you're dealing with somebody who's very emotional? Is your logical approach going to be on the same frequency as the person who's taking an emotional approach?
No.
Totally different, isn't it?
Yeah, very different.
Totally different. So one of the ways that you can win the hearts and minds of people is adapting. And so through coaching and training, what you can do is you can start to become more emotional. And one of the things that you'll notice here when you watch the replay, when Ninny was on the camera before, did you notice how expressive Ninny is in her face? Did you see that? Yeah. Ninny and I are quite expressive. So the high I style is often very expressive in the facial features, where the low I tends to be more like a computer or a calculator. They don't show a lot of emotion. Now I can see a little smile there. And you've got a beautiful smile when you smile. It's lovely, isn't it? And I want to see more of that, because what we say, and it's an old saying from China, is that a man without a smile should never open a shop. And one of the things that the low I style can do is start to learn to be more expressive on the face, because you feel emotions, but sometimes they don't register on the face. And just by doing that, and this is an NLP tactic, we say in NLP that 55% of your communication is nonverbal. 55 is your expressions, the way you smile, the way you move your hands. So learning NLP could help you have significant career growth, so you can also be logical and emotional with anybody, anytime. Because you've got a beautiful smile. When I saw it then, there you go. It melts. I'll give you 300,000. Okay, well done.